Well, hello, my pickles, my snowflakes, and my turtles. Somebody called themselves a pickled snowflake the other day. It could be true. How are you? Well, I'm doing well. It's mid December, and things are coming along as they usually do, whether I want them to or not, right? The deadlines, the deadlines. So I was just listening to a podcast of somebody else, and and it was very, very funny because that person said, I'm not going to be doing videos much anymore, not the way that my people expect me to. He said, I'm so sick and tired about talking about keto and what I do and how it goes. And it's all so boring. And so, as I'm wont to do, I was reading the comments and people were saying, well, that's what I want to hear. And I know that Mike from Keto Mad and I think Jim from Beating Obesity, have had these conversations. And it's like, this is what a lot of people want to hear in their morning briefing with their cup of coffee. They just want a little chit chat about the day, what's going on, maybe something, you know, pertinent to keto, something I've read, something I've seen. Um, and we just talk about what we're going to do and we go on with our day. And out of that 10 to 15-minute chat comes motivation and determination and the go-get-itness of doing it one more day. Fortunately, that's how I look at my keto program, is one more day of doing it, because that's all we really have. And when the tape, I have the tape come at 1 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Time, because people on the West Coast that are night owls are still up. One of them considers it, her name is Dupuy, and she considers it her bedtime story. And so I have it come online at 1 a.m. for people. And then for most of us, the rest of us, we're all having our morning cup of coffee with it. But it just works for us when we do it that way. And, I guess I kind of, first of all, I want to be a cup of coffee's worth of chitter chatter, telling you what I eat. And then second, it kind of reminds me of like 20 years ago when Imus first came on in the morning, and I would listen to him while I was getting ready. And it was a new thing to have like a live radio host, you know, on the TV and be able to see him. And of course, what did he talk about every day? Well, when he wasn't doing interviews, it was just regular old, same day, new day, same stuff. And that's how, it is for me here. So, we just talk about it. We keep doing what we're doing. And oftentimes our keto program gets tweaked, gets changed. Some of us go from keto to carnivish, then all the way to carnivore, and then sometimes the meter comes back a little bit, which is what happened with me. And do you hear that cat? Really, Barney? He has this like intense meow, like it's an emergency, like half his leg was cut off. And all he did was come in the cat door. Meow. So anyway, yeah. So, and all of our journey is tracked in your comments and what I have to say and how we go about the day, and we handle stress and pressures and triggers and cravings and all kinds of stuff. Also, what a lot of us do for our keto program. I start off my day with a little bit of potassium powder, a little bit of magnesium powder, a little bit of Dr. Price's electrolytes, and that's in a dish, and I squeeze like a half a lemon to a whole lemon, depending on how juicy it is, into that. And then I have the Celtic salt crystals on my tongue, and then that lemon that I've squeezed, I put the lemon in the water, and I heat up the water, and I have the salt crystals first, and I'm drinking down the water, and then I have that little powder mixture, and that sets me up for getting in some warm water and some electrolytes for the day. And then Of course, I have my coffee. And where is my coffee today? Well, I'm tweaking, as some of you may see when you see what I'm eating. And I gave up the added um, ghee in my coffee, and I cut my heavy whipping cream in half. And I'm back to using a sweetener, which is at this point, it's Zyla. And that comes from North American hardwood trees. And I have some of that in my coffee. So I've given up half of the cream, all of the ghee, and now I've got a little sweetener back, and I'm very, very happy with this combo. And I think my coffees switch up more than anything. Sometimes it's my salads, but my coffee has switched up over the years of my low carb, high fat, and keto more than any other item, I think. And so that's what's working for me today. Who knows? Something could change. So yeah, I was listening to this person, and they were saying that, like, how boring is it? And then this person said, well, I'm bored with it, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And you could tell that a few of the people, you know, whoops, that person was saying that I don't care if you unsub. I've got to do what's right for me, and I'm going to do different types of videos. And it's like, well, okay, but not me. I'm here. I'm doing this. This will not turn into a needlepoint class where I needlepoint while I talk to you and we talk about other things. Don't worry. It's keto, and keto for me is definitely under 15 total carbs for the day. I went a whole bunch lower on my journey to being carnivish, but now I'm back. I've welcomed some of those anti-nutrient veggies back in my life, and my body feels better. And I know that there's a pickle here, and she's one of my favorites, and she supported all of my different moves. And she said that she keeps her carbs at around 35, and that is her happy place. And I don't know if she's still there, but that's when she divulged how many carbs she had. And, it's like finding what works. And it's like, well, what could the difference between like a few carbs going all the way up to 15 total? Total! And yeah. And so I don't know. I feel better. And I seem to be having soft-boiled eggs almost every meal, because now that I'm not having the extra fat, I can really, focus on the protein, because it's got, first of all, half the calories of what a gram of fat has. And so my meals have become not more necessarily, but a lot more satiating, because if I have a couple of hard-boiled eggs with some meat and my salad, and then sometimes an added veggie on top of that, it's delightful, and it just kind of works for me. I encourage you to follow your drummer, and whatever your drummer is telling you that works for you. This is the softening up part that, when I get cranky, which I was a couple of weeks ago, at some people that kept trying to correct me and make me go with their way of thinking, and I just wouldn't. And so I got a little cranky. I did a little tiny little smackdown, but it wasn't on anybody in particular. It was just, I was feeling snarky and maybe sleep deprived. So I've definitely lightened up about what works. If what works for you is Dr. Berg's way with, 7 to 10 cups of salad every day, and that works, and your tummy doesn't revolt, have it, right? Don't do what I do just because I said that. You're not in my body. And so I'm not in your body. So if something's working for you, even down to, some of the things that you'd like to give up, they're on your short list. For me, that would be just a suggestion, would be the diet sodas and artificial sweeteners, not the alternative sugars, but the artificial sweeteners, only because they come from a chemical lab, and we just don't have enough information on, what's inside of them. I'm a big promoter of non-starchy veggies, and I'm a big promoter of higher protein, especially for women that are getting older. And I think that we need it. So I backtracked on that with my feelings from before. And so, yeah, this is what we do. And sometimes, it's a sleeper of a video, but I'm here in front of you and I understand routine. If you're used to me for 10 to 15 minutes in the morning with your coffee, I'm used to you. And so nothing drastic is going to change here. We'll just keep doing what we do. I just was, I don't know, maybe it's a personal thing, but I was just kind of amused because it's like what I think works for me, which is just like a daily washing of the reminders that keto is a lifestyle. It's for the distance. A lot of us here are older and our metabolisms are older. And so sometimes we have to be brought back to be reminded that this is a lifestyle. It is not a sprint to Christmas Eve so you can wear your gold lame dress to the party with your gold high heels. Good luck with that. I won't be, but you know what I'm saying when I say this. It's a lifestyle. So that means if you have to have a detour or a speed bump or something derails you a little bit, just get right back on that keto wagon, because tomorrow morning at 1 a.m., the keto wagon is going to be coming back and you can jump on it with my 10 to 15 minutes of blah, 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 and you can be set for the day. Sometimes that's all we need is just a little reminder about it being a lifestyle, not a sprint. It's not a race. And there's lots of, younger people here, men and women as well. And we do what we do every day. Some of us exercise like fiends, some of us don't. Some of us are new here. And if you're new, I'm so happy you're here. This is where we talk about real food and nice, slow, and steady results. We don't have those grand expectations that other people might tell you, or that darn magazine that I did the thing on. One is First Woman and the other one is Woman's World. They're owned by the same company, and they have so many keto headlines on their cover so people buy them. Lose 10 pounds in 10 days. It's not going to happen that way. Keto food plan is not linear. It's not. It's like this with the scale, and you're not doing anything different. And it's like your body will be changing. It will be healing from the inside. And that's what we like. Because if you're like me and you're older like me, you've probably got a deranged metabolism by the time you get here, especially if you've been following weight loss programs, which are not the same as a lifestyle program, which is what this is. For example, Weight Watchers, where you just have the standard American diet again, with just a smaller portion of the breads. You can have all the fruit you want, doesn't matter, and things like that. And that, it might help you lose initially, but most of us reach a plateau after we've done Weight Watchers as an older woman. And then a lot of people get here from other ways as well. But the point is you're here and you don't have to leave keto ever again. Tweak to make you happy, but I don't know. For me, I have to remember and celebrate that I gave up grains and sugars. What was my staple of my food plan before I got to low carb, high fat? Grains and sugars. That's all I cared about. I might have eaten the vegetables just in case, like, God was looking down. And, if I didn't eat my green vegetables, how could I possibly eat half of that dessert that comes like this round thing? Half of that, not half of a little dessert. And so, I had crazy, wacky beliefs back then. And so if you come from the same family as I do, where you gave up sugars and grains, and then you got here, and it's like, wow, I have to undo everything and then resubmit, restart the computer in the head, and be comfortable with the new information that I'm getting from the specialists that work in the keto carnivore world. And it's pretty grand. I like it. all the information that I get from these symposiums and summits and, just maybe just one doctor interviewing another doctor, I get so much. It makes me feel so good. It re-inspires me every day to do the best that I can and bring to you anything that I'm learning. And it's kind of cool. Well, so this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. My keto total carbs are under 15 every day. A lot of times under 10, but I'm allowing a little bit more veggies in my life because I'm realizing, well, they might be called toxic, but they're working for me right now. And that's what matters, is the right now. There's always room to tweak. If you need one-on-one, or you're too busy right now with Christmas and you're thinking in January I might, ketocoachingsarah.com. And my program is different from others. It's a lot about behaviors, old habits, just changing up a little bit. It's boot camp, but not in the Jillian Michaels sense of boot camp. It's just, reminders. It's using the chronometer. It's learning how to weigh and measure and plan before. So when you go shopping and say you buy a big chuck roast, you know you're going to have it like for at least 3 meals in the next 5 days. What can you plan? A pulled beef taco salad. You can have the initial pot roast. You can make a stew with the leftover meat, things like that. Just make your brain click in to like the food management of what you have and putting it in your chronometer before you eat. After you eat is missing the point. The tightness, the dedication, the desire to not slip and slide with your lifestyle program comes from putting the food in your chronometer. It's there for a reference. You can also put in recipes, which help. But, when I put my food into my chronometer, that's it. That's what I'm having for the day. It's there. And when it's a hit and I like it and the macros fit and everything else, which I don't get crazy about, I have what I want to eat and then see what the macros are. So that's how it works for me. But you can copy what you've had for the day and you can have it next Thursday if you want. And then you don't have to get in there and do this and do that. You can put your weight in there. You can put your activity in there. It's a marvelous little program. And that's what I do when I do the keto coaching. There's phone calls too. But when it's the keto coaching, it's by email and notes on the chronometer. And I have permission to go into your chronometer. And we can do this with the free version too. So you don't have to pay, that on top of what you're paying me. And see what you have and make suggestions. And it just, clarity comes. It's just a little bit more clarity, a little bit more self-care. And that's what I like about the program. Well, it's time for me to go. Because you know why? Because I'm having another one of these. And I don't want to slurp while I'm talking to you. So I will see you the next time. My pickles, my snowflakes, and my ever steady turtle. I'm a turtle. I will see you the next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to do this without you, so don't make me come and get you. Bye-bye.